Steps taken by the company to introduce Western education in India. Early efforts and contribution of William Jones. In the beginning, the company never took it as its duty to provide education to the Indians. In AD 1781, Warren Hastings did some work in this direction. Similarly, Sir William Jones, a judge of the Supreme Court, founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal in AD 1784. This society in later years did a lot of work in spreading education. William Jones was a very learned man who had acquired mastery over many languages, including Greek, Latin, French, and English. He had also learned much about the Persian, Arabic, and Sanskrit languages. He took keen interest in studying ancient Indian texts on religion, philosophy, morality, politics, law, arithmetic, medicine, and other sources. Soon he, along with his other colleagues like Henry Thomas Colebrooke and Nathaniel Halhed, developed a great interest in the Indian languages and culture. Particularly, William Jones felt the need to study Indian history, philosophy, and law because of the following reasons. He felt that the Indian civilization had attained a great glory in the ancient times but had subsequently declined. According to him, if one has to understand India, it would be quite necessary for him to discuss and study the sacred and legal texts that were produced in India in ancient times. The study of ancient texts could only reveal the real ideas and laws of both the Hindus and the Muslims. The future development of India also depends on such a study. By discussing ancient texts and their situations, the British would become the guardians of Indian culture as well as its masters. Consequently, a madrasa was set up in Calcutta in 1781 for the study of Arabic, Persian, and Islamic law by Warren Hastings, and the Hindu College was started in 1791 for the promotion of ancient Sanskrit texts. Charter Act of AD 1813. It was laid in the Charter Act of AD 1813 that the company would set aside a sum of rupees 1 lakh for promoting the knowledge of modern sciences in India. But even this meagre amount was not utilized for several years, as no decision could be reached as to what the medium of education should be. James Mill and Thomas Macaulay's view on education. Those company's officials like William Jones, Henry Thomas Colebrooke, and H. Nathaniel Halhed, etc., who wanted to promote Indian rather than Western learning, began to be known as Orientalists. But there were others like James Mill and Thomas Macaulay, who attacked the Orientalist and thought that European education was essential in India. They held such a view because of the following reasons. The latter held the view that knowledge of the East was full of errors and unscientific thought. Eastern literature was non-serious and light-hearted. According to them, the aim of education ought to be to teach what was useful and practical. Lord Macaulay went further. He said that India was an uncivilized country that needed to be civilized. According to him, no branch of Eastern knowledge could be compared to what English had produced. He declared, who could deny that a single shelf of a good European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia? Lord Macaulay felt that the knowledge of English would allow the Indians to read some of the finest literature that the world had ever produced. He went further and said that the teaching of English could prove useful in civilizing people, changing their tastes, values, and culture. Accordingly, the English Education Act was passed in 1835, which decided to promote the teaching of Western sciences and literature through the medium of English alone. Charles Wood, the president of the Board of Control, did yeoman's service in spreading education in India when in AD 1854 he sent a dispatch to Lord Dalhousie, the then Governor-General of India. It was recommended therein that an education department was to be established in every province. Universities on the model of the London University be established in big cities such as Bombay, Calcutta and Madras. At least one government school should be opened in every district. Affiliated private schools should be given grant in aid. The Indian natives should be given training in their mother tongue also. In accordance with the Wood's dispatch, education departments were established in every province and universities were opened at Calcutta, Bombay and Madras in AD 1857 and in Punjab in AD 1882 and at Allahabad in AD 1887.